Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel. Here's a headline from the Crypto Basic. Does the recent AMM clawback make XRP ledger centralized? Here are the facts. Oh yes, here are the facts indeed. Now, this is a topic that I opined on in a video literally yesterday, and it just so happens to be the case that the Crypto Basic covered some of my perspective in this article, and so I'm going to take just a couple minutes to highlight the very most key components of this to expand upon it. And also, and this is one of the reasons I'm so glad I have this platform, it's so that I can fight back against all of the nonsense, bad takes, and misinformation and outright garbage that people levy against XRP and the community. Because there's a lot of trash out there. There are a lot of bad takes, and there are a lot of people with really bad intentions out there trying, to no avail, of course, to ruin XRP and the XRP ledger. And that intent, by the way, dates back to 2013 when Bitcoin maximalists at the time were paying forum participants on a Bitcoin forum $550, I believe it was worth of Bitcoin, to get people to lie and say that XRP was a scam. That's a real thing that happened. And there was a chance back then it could have worked because that was when XRP was right out the gate. But they thankfully did fail, and here we are, and they're still saying all sorts of nonsense. In fact, I'm going to share with you commentary. I haven't highlighted this on my channel yet, but recently, one of the most well-known figures in all of crypto with over 1 million followers on X. He's been around in the crypto space for, I'm sure, well over a decade. He's one of the earliest to jump into the fray. He had the stupidest damn thing to say to Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse. And I had something to say to him as a result, and I haven't covered it on my channel, but I want to, so I'm going to. But before going further, I do want to be clear, I do not have a financial background of any kind. I am not offering financial advice, and you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos about crypto-related topics, but just as a hobby and just for fun. All right, so let's set the table here in case anybody missed this most recent development here. So piece reads as follows. The recent activation of the AMM clawback amendment on the XRP ledger has triggered discussions about the network's decentralization. Notably, the XRP Ledger community recently witnessed the activation of the AMM clawback on January 30th, 2025, which essentially made it possible for tokens with clawback features like the Ripple stablecoin RLUSD to trade in AMM pools. Before now, the network barred these tokens from participating in any AMM pool. Okay, and so I will pause to note that the clawback feature itself was approved, I don't remember exactly when, but it was the early part of 2024. So this is separate from that, just to be clear. I noticed that there was some confusion about that, so I wanted to mention that as well. Piece continues, however, as the community welcomed this development, which promises to boost liquidity for XRP and RLUSD on the XRP Ledger Decentralized Exchange, market commentator and host of the O Show, Wendy O, suggested that XRP Ledger was no longer decentralized. She argued that the activation of the amendment made the XRP ledger a centralized network. When asked if she fully understood the amendment, she confirmed that she had covered it, but maintained that it did not align with decentralization. Her statements triggered discussions within the XRP community. Yeah, plenty of discussion on that, widely discussed, so of course I'm going to opine on that. And I'll just note, I'm not going to rehash this part, but or highlight it again in this video, but a current Ripple employee took Wendy to task. She didn't respond. A former Ripple employee wrote a long response, taking the concept to task, and she ignored that as well. And there's no way she didn't, to be clear, there's no way she didn't see these posts with like hundreds and hundreds of likes. There's no way she didn't see them. She chose not to respond. She had a bad take, and rather than saying, oh wow, I hadn't considered it that way, I was wrong, she seems to just be doing her best to put this under the rug. And she can do that, that's fine, but she said a thing publicly to over 400,000 followers on X. We're all allowed to share our counterpoints to that, which is what we're all doing, including me. This is open public discourse, which is totally fine, just to be clear. Some people have this limp-wristed idea that if you share a counterpoint, you're attacking the person, and that's dumb. That's a stupid opinion if you have that opinion. The truth is, I'm not attacking her, and none of these people were that I'm highlighting. We're pushing back against the bad idea, and it's a bad idea whether she has it or someone else has it. I don't care who has it. It's a bad idea, and it's reasonable to say, hey, that's actually incorrect, here's why. That's the right thing to do. That's what you do. And so I had a response as well. And so this is actually, let me just go down to this first here. So in this article, they highlighted what I had to say, and thankfully they actually highlighted what I consider to be maybe the most key point that I made, because here's just let's get down to the nuts and bolts of this. Having specific privileges, like a centralized entity or an individual person having centralized privileges over an aspect of a blockchain, does not necessarily mean that that blockchain is suddenly centralized. I'll give you an example. And this is true of the XRP ledger, but let's say it about Bitcoin, because it's true of both. So let's just make sure that everybody's super duper clear this is true of Bitcoin. If you own Bitcoin and you have Bitcoin in your own wallet, you have centralized control over that Bitcoin that you own in your wallet. You can transact on the network however you want to whoever you want, and nobody can stop you. So the blockchain's decentralized, but you have centralized control over your asset. So we can distinguish, right? Because we're not stupid people. We can distinguish between having parameters that are centralized in nature. We can call them centralized privileges, especially over ownership of an asset. And we can differentiate between having special privileges, centralized privileges, versus the entire blockchain being centralized or being decentralized. We can understand those are two different things, right? Because it's certainly true on the XRP ledger as well. If you have access to XRP and it's just yours and it's just in your wallet, you can do whatever the hell you want with it. And even if every validator on the network doesn't want you to do something, I mean, like, good luck. I mean, unless they're going to, like, literally vote to, like, change the code, but then you're probably going to have a fork of the network anyway. But realistically, even if multiple, say it was half the validators, just that it wouldn't be just to make it more realistic, which I still think is absurd, but they still couldn't, and to be real, they wouldn't care anyway. And it's same thing's true for the Bitcoin blockchain. But even if that were the case, like what would happen? What would the net result be? They can't do anything. That's the point. It doesn't change the rules that everybody must abide by. This doesn't change anything. So similarly, if you now have the ability to claw back a transaction on a token that you, as a central authority with centralized privileges, launched, that doesn't mean that the overarching umbrella of the entire thing is now somehow centralized. That is not what that means. The decentralized system said you can have special privileges when it comes to clawing back a token that you created. Just like the decentralized system says you can choose to transact with your Bitcoin or your XRP if you own it, and we can't stop you. It's the same damn concept. And so credit to the Crypto Basic, and if you're listening, a personal thank you to you for highlighting this. I do appreciate it. And so they wrote the following. Notably, Moon Lambo provided an analogy to explain the difference between individual control and network-wide decentralization. He noted that just as XRP holders have full control over their personal wallets, token issuers have certain privileges over their own assets. This does not mean they have control over the entire blockchain. And so, folks, if you don't have control over the entire blockchain, how the hell is it centralized? If there's no central point of failure, if there's no central entity that can control it, how is it centralized? The answer is it's not, because we have brains and we can know that. Peace continues. Similarly, he stressed that Ripple, as the issuer of RLUSD, has exclusive control over its stablecoin, including issuance and management. However, this control does not extend to XRP or the broader XRP ledger network. This also applies to any issued asset with clawback enabled. Spot on. So I'm glad they highlighted that. And also note, before moving on to the next subject here, that, and I think it was Neil Hartner, Ripple employee, that brought this up. There are actually multiple individuals that brought this up, but they highlighted that, stable coins, like I believe Tether was cited on multiple blockchains, there's a clawback feature. So, and that's on multiple chains. So is Ethereum no longer decentralized because there's a centralized entity that can issue a token that has a clawback feature? No, that's stupid. It doesn't make any sense. It's a bad idea. And it's so, again, this isn't even that aspect. It's not unique to the XRP ledger. It is not. It was done on other blockchains first. It just is available now. And so I shared a very long post the other day, and here's my not so long post. She ignored that one, so I just responded to her initial post again, because here's the post. There's this headline from an article. XRP ledger clawback goes live in boost for Ripple USD trading. And so she shared that headline and wrote, XRPL is no longer decentralized. So I responded with, you're no longer decentralized. Because that's sometimes the right approach. It makes no sense. And if we're just going to sweep this under the rug, if that's what she wants to do, then there's my additional answer. You're no longer decentralized. We can all be children here. Here's a post from Brad Garlinghouse several days ago, and I haven't highlighted this on my channel yet. I also haven't shared with you as a result of that a response from a very well-known Bitcoin maximalist named Willy Woo, who has 1.1 million followers on X. So here's what Brad Garlinghouse had to say a few days ago. Some thoughts on maximalism. Let me say this as clearly as I can. The crypto industry has a real shot here and now to achieve the many goals we have in common if we work together instead of tearing each other down. This is not and never will be a zero-sum game. I own XRP, Bitcoin, and ETH among a handful of others. We live in a multi-chain world, and I've advocated for a level playing field instead of one token versus another. If a government digital asset reserve is created, I believe it should be representative of the industry, not just one token, whether it be Bitcoin, XRP, or anything else. And maximalism remains the enemy of crypto progress. And I'm very glad to see fewer and fewer folks ascribe to this outdated and misinformed thinking. I am so glad that Brad Garlinghouse said that. That was seen 3.2 million times to this point. 3.2 million times. And he's right. And we should push back against maximalism of any form. I mean, especially the toxic kind, because there are people that act like complete assholes. And they're almost exclusively in the Bitcoin community. Let's be real. Almost 100%. There's like one XRP maxi that exists, and he's probably polite. Like there are almost none. Like you might as well round down to zero, because people in our community are a little bit different. We use logic and reason, you know, and we understand, like, we are here, we're in the community because this is a great investment opportunity, and it makes sense. It's not a religion for us. On the Bitcoin side, a little different for a lot of these guys. Toxic Bitcoin maxi trolls. That's a term that is well deserved. So the deal is that these people, these disgusting people, they want privilege. That's what they want. They want special treatment from the government. That's why they want Bitcoin only as a reserve. Because on a level playing field, Bitcoin has a lot of trouble competing. It's not good at doing stuff. There's a reason it's been described as the pet rock of the cryptocurrency world. You can kind of look at it. I mean, I guess you can touch it. I don't know. You can't even do that. You can do more with the pet rock. Right? But I get it. Look, the attributes, I understand I'm being a little facetious, but the attributes are what people like. I understand that. That's why I'm in crypto. I believe in that. But what I'm saying is, from a technological perspective, it's just a matter of fact that Bitcoin is the least sophisticated, least advanced, least useful cryptocurrency that's ever been created because it's the first. So we can still revere it, we can appreciate it, but let's not pretend that it's better than the rest from a technological perspective. And that's why they're so damn threatened, because XRP can do what Satoshi Nakamoto sought for Bitcoin to do in the Bitcoin white paper. He said that Bitcoin is a peer-to-peer cash system, except for it's not. You can't really functionally use it as that, but you can with XRP. XRP does work. You can use it for payments. XRP is great for payments, broadly speaking. It's amazing. There's a reason it's always been in the top 10 coins by market cap for its entire existence, despite being attacked by the SEC. You'll love to see it. I mean, unless you're a Bitcoin maximalist, of course. So we are happy to have a level playing field in the XRP community, aren't we? Because we're not threatened. And we accept that there are other coins that are better at certain things than XRP, and that's fine. XRP isn't the best at everything, but it's the best at a lot of stuff. It really, I don't feel threatened by a level playing field, but the Bitcoin maxis do, and that is very telling. They do not deserve special treatment. They do not deserve to have a Bitcoin-only reserve. And so Willy Woo, of course, disagrees because he is a Bitcoin maximalist. And he shared the following with his 1.1 million followers on X. Dear CEO of XRP. He wrote this to Brad Garlinghouse. Did you know that? Brad Garlinghouse, he's the CEO of XRP. He can just control this decentralized ledger, which I guess maybe Wendy was right then. I guess it's just centralized because reasons, folks. This is what comes out of the stupid faceholes of toxic Bitcoin maximalists. It's completely absurd. So I'm just going to read it as he wrote, though. Dear CEO of XRP, living in the United States, tell me which countries would buy U.S.-controlled XRP. I can't say it with a straight face. U.S.-controlled XRP if the strategic reserve needed to be put to work. It is decentralized, you fool. You were saying this. How are you not embarrassed? To 1.1 million followers. Holy freaking hell. It is decentralized. And then he said Bitcoin is a geopolitically neutral asset like gold. You're gaslighting people into thinking XRP is a strategic reserve asset. Well, no, XRP is not currently a reserve asset for the government. Neither is Bitcoin. Neither is. What are you talking about? And so, I might have... Do I have this? Yeah, I actually do have this highlighted. Look at this. Here's a post from Crypto Arsenal, and this is just how stupid what that guy said is. Crypto Arsenal, I'm glad he shared this. Now that the XRP ledger has reached over 1,000 nodes and 200 validators, it's about time I updated the DUNL chart with all the most recent inclusions by XRP Ledger Foundation. The list includes 35 of the most high-performing validators on the XRP ledger with a diverse range of entities. Thank you to all. And what you might notice is out of the 35 on the list, and by the way, this DUNL, default UNL list, Ripple didn't make this. This is from the XRP Ledger Foundation. What you will notice is that one of the 35 is Ripple. It's right there where I'm moving my mouse. One of the 35 is Ripple. What are you talking about, Willy Woo? Why are you not embarrassed when you're typing this stupid crap? It's one valid... Ripple has no control over this. No control over the XRP ledger. No central control, anyway. They have the same pull as the others that are in the DUNL with the sufficient overlap in it. So to be clear, I don't want to get too in the weeds. You can have, if you're a validator, you set your own DUNL, and you can use a template from Ripple. You can use one from XRP Ledger Foundation. You can create your own. It's your choice. You have the autonomy. And in order to participate in the network, there has to be sufficient overlap. So you have to agree on a certain percentage anyway. But I don't want to go into it any further than that. But suffice it to say, Ripple is a tiny piece of this in terms of the control of the network. They're a tiny piece of this. He should just be embarrassed. And so anyway, I responded to him and wrote, XRP is not US controlled. It's decentralized. And folks, it's controlled by a global decentralized network. Global. Keyword global. Ripple runs just one validator. Perhaps you'd like it if they get rid of that too. Would make no difference, though. Do you legitimately not know the XRP ledger is decentralized? Ripple has proposed amendments to the XRP ledger, and they failed to pass because validators voted against Ripple. Because they can. Because the blockchain is decentralized. And of course, not surprisingly at all, he did not respond. Nobody's going to be surprised about that. So there we go. Thank you for nothing. You just embarrassed yourself. I mean, I say he should have embarrassed himself. It's just that I'm not convinced that these people feel normal human emotions. Like, I don't think that he necessarily has the capacity to feel embarrassed by saying, "Dear CEO of XRP." So is he lying, or is he genuinely that ignorant when XRP has been one of the most seen, adopted cryptocurrencies in history? It's been around for, publicly for 12 years now. We're just to assume like he doesn't know this, but he's been in crypto this long? How is that even possible? How? That doesn't even make any damn sense. Like, you'd think that you'd learn a little bit about it before typing something so public like that. Jesus Christ, what the hell is wrong with these people? So those are some of the facts. I'm so glad I have this platform so I can rip this crap to shreds. And now consider all of this. All these nonsense allegations and stupid opinions to be placed into the Moon Lambo wood chipper, never to be spoken of or seen again, ideally. I'm not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the Moon Lambo.